Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Amagati, your family life coach. I know I say this all the time. I know you've heard it all the time, but I really believe that I'm here rooting for you and helping you, bringing you tips, and that would help you become a better parent. We're in this together. I am a parent, and I know that parenting is hard, and so I am happy to share resources with you, tips and ideas with you. So again, welcome to my channel. I've noticed we've had some new subscribers, so I want to say thank you all for subscribing to my channel and for supporting this journey on parenting in a foreign culture. Okay, so this weekend has been busy for my family and I because our children are involved in all these extracurricular activities, and May is exceptionally challenging because there's a lot of programming, a lot of events, and for those of us living in the United States, depending on the school district you're in, is we're kind of running up the end of the school year, so a lot of things, end of year things are happening. But that also got me thinking about why our children should, or the importance of participating in extracurricular activities. And sometimes, as a parent, as you go, you start wondering if it's all worth it. And if it's worth the running from here to there, if it's worth going from one program to another program. But there is some research, there is some benefits to um, participating in extracurricular activities. So I wanted to share some with you today, especially if your children are not participating in any extracurricular activity. Maybe you may want to consider one or two. I also, before I say all of the benefits and why I think our children should be in extracurricular activities, I want to also point out that sometimes I think some parents overindulge their children in extracurricular activity. Let me establish that point clearly. So there is nothing wrong with being in extracurricular activity, but if it's beginning to affect your child's academic work, if it's beginning to affect your child's rest, then sometimes you need to pull back. I mean, I've met people who have kids in like 4 or 5 things at the same time, because we want them to explore and explore. But it also, children experience stress just like we do as adults, right? And so it is important that we teach our children to find balance, to find rest, and not just go. And you need to know your child and to see when you should put them in an extracurricular activity or when you should pull them out. And what is adequate for one child is probably not adequate for another child. There's some children who just have all this pent up energy that they need to burn, and so parents put them in one thing after the other to keep them going. I find that my children are, depending on what it is, can easily tire and can easily get overwhelmed with things. And so I, as a parent, my husband and I, we didn't put our kids in too many extracurricular activity until they were older. And for us, many is like one or two. That's it, right? And so for some people, they feel like their children can handle 4 or 5. I also feel like as a parent, I need my rest and I shouldn't be going from one thing to another. Although I find myself doing that now, even with my children in very few extracurricular activity, it still tends to be busy. So please find balance. Know your child, know what your child can handle. Know if an individual sport or a group sport might work for them. So let me give you an example. My preteen does better in one-on-one sports, right? So I put him in mixed martial arts because I figured, it's not like basketball where we are competing to leave the bench and be on the courts and stuff like that. And he thrives that way. But it took me a while to figure that out. And so I put him in mixed martial arts for that. And then we did piano with my oldest from when she was little, because it also helps with her cognitive skills, her reasoning, her ability to read. And there is research that supports that. And so she ended up taking piano. Now both kids take piano, and then one is into track and field, which was her own choosing, and then the other one does the mixed martial arts and piano. So as a parent, as you pick up extracurricular activities for your child, don't just do it because everyone is doing it. Also find out what works for your child. If your child wants to play football and they're good, and you feel like, this is suitable for their personality, why not? But I do encourage extracurricular activity. I actually, for my nonprofit, we started off as an arts program, so we did performing arts, visual arts. So I'm a big proponent for extracurricular activity. So I hope that you find something for your child to do. Now, I did pull up some notes because I went on a few websites, just to see if there were some research as to the benefits of getting into extracurricular activities. So here's the first one. It says that children who are part of extracurricular activities tend to have higher levels of academic achievement, which means they have higher scores or higher grades at school. I think it also helps them with their reasoning, again, with their cognitive skills, and so they tend to do better in school. And also because they have limited time to get things done, they do get things done because you have to study and then you have to go for practice or go for a game or anything like that. I feel like it keeps the child organized to a degree. Another thing is that it does help them with goal setting, following instructions, being persistent, and being resilient. Another thing it does for them is character development, brings about self awareness and self worth. And then it talks about some teams, sports, or some games helps with team building. It helps with communication skills, and then also gives the children a sense of belonging. So, if none of these appeal to you, just think of where you are coming from and think of your childhood. The childhood our children are having, especially here in a foreign culture. And I'm talking specifically for parents who are raising children in Europe and in the United States, North America, like Canada, places in the Western world, right? When we were growing up, so let me use myself as an example. When I was growing up in Ghana, we just came back from school, changed into our house clothes, and we were gone in the neighborhood playing with our friends. And it wasn't organized like the way extracurricular activities are organized here, right? The rich kids were able to do extracurricular activities, but we, the middle income, low income people, or the poor ones, were in the neighborhood just playing with each other. So we built our social skills that way. We built our team building skills that way. We worked together that way, right? And so we benefited in that sense. I think that one of the things that we struggle with as immigrants in a Western world is that because we did not go through extracurricular activities and stuff like that, we tend not to see the importance of it and why we should include our children in that. And so I noticed when I first moved to America that American parents, black or white, were big on what their children were into. So I would meet an American family, and the first thing they would talk about is all the extracurricular things their children do, not even the academics. They're like, oh, he's into basketball, he's into soccer, he's into this, he's into that. And then I thought, oh, I mean, it's just games. They're little. It's not like they're going to go pro one day. But now that I have my own kids and now that I've read up on it a little bit, I do understand the importance of putting your child in something. For me, though, at the proper age, I held back. I mean, I know parents my children's age who had kids my children's age is what I meant, who were into sports like as early as age 4, age 5. Um, for me, I took it slow. I felt like at that age, I needed them to go to school, to come home, and to play and just be a child and not worry about some game or some competition. So it was my personal decision, and whatever works for you, right? And so I'm just sharing my personal what we did. We just held back for a while. And so in the last 2 or 3 years is when our children have really gotten into a lot of sports and stuff like that. They did, however, were part of my program through my nonprofit, and so they would do that after school. So I guess they were into some form of extracurricular. But anyway, I am saying that do what is comfortable for you as a family, but I also think that it is important that they are in something other than school. So for those of you living in the United States, depending on where you are, summer is coming up. Sometimes that's a good time to put your children in something just to kind of work them into next academic year. So swimming could be one of them. Consider maybe a swimming class, piano lessons, music lessons. There are a lot of camps that do stuff like that. So if you're considering putting your child in something, this might be a good time for you to do that. Sometimes also there's cost involved, and so that's why some migrant families won't put their children in extracurricular activities because it's expensive. But I also do know that some counties, like where I live in the US, I know my county does offer some free programming for people who live within the county. So go online, Google, see if there are any free extracurricular activities or free camps, things that your children can try this summer. I think that is a good way to put them in. Or just look for, a piano teacher who would charge very minimum and get them into something like that. But it is important that they do, because it does help them grow socially. It does help them, with their cognitive skills, with their ability to do schoolwork, and it helps them do better. So, some few tips for you to consider today. I hope that something I've said has been worth your while. I hope that parenting is relatively going easy for you. I say relative because I know parenting is hard anyway, but take it easy. You are not alone. Let me know if you have any questions, any suggestions, any thoughts about putting your child in extracurricular activities. Put them in the comments because I do read them. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Enjoy your day. Thanks for your support again.